Van life in the UK could be under threat. New reinstated rules are hitting diesel vehicles, restrictions are spreading, and the big question is it still worth buying a campervan or motorhome right now? Let's find out.
Van life in the UK is changing once again. We want to show you some of the restrictions that are happening in our local area as a good example of what's happening across the whole of the UK. We're actually in a Asda car park right now. It costs £12 for 24 hours and it's still being used by quite a lot of local van lifers. It's not a bad price actually, for given the fact that we're near the centre of Brighton and the beach, but a lot of these people used to park probably at a different location that has now changed due to tightening of restrictions for van lifers. There is a storm coming. It's happening imminently and the winds are going to get very, very strong. So I'm hopefully going to get to show you this area and another area as well and show you those restrictions to show you how things are changing, but we need to get moving quickly. So yeah, this video is all about the future of van life, not just for this local area, but for the whole of the UK, with the 2030 date coming up and the restriction of diesel engines, the WEF, World Economic Forum, and there is also a storm coming today. So I'm really, really hoping that we get to do all of this and show you the areas that we want to show you. So let's get cracking.
Okay, cool. Let's go before these winds pick up. Right, let's go. Okay, so here we are on Seaford Beach. This is actually one of mine and Liam's favourite park ups ever. It is so nice, and that's because the beach is just so beautiful. It's so big and vast, and it's just an amazing park up, and you park up literally right on the beach as well. So yeah, it's our favourite one. There's also toilets here, and there's a coffee shop just back here on the beach, and it's a really nice place to get coffees. They've got deck chairs, and yeah, it's just a shame that there's hardly any vans along here at the moment. As we drove down here, we noticed that there are actually fewer vans down here, which Liam's going to explain why.
So yeah, Seaford Beach is one of our favourites, as Janine said, but yeah, no vans down here today. And the reason, well, very few anyway, this would be chocker normally on a weekend. The reason being is because they've always had restrictions here, but they've never imposed those restrictions. So it's always been up to the van lifers down here to take it on themselves and what have you. And it's never been a problem. Obviously, residents don't ever like vans being on a beach. We found no matter where you go, there's always that sort of pressure. And it has gotten worse down here, especially in the last year. So much so that there have been parking wardens sort of instructed to come down here and monitor all of the vans and the cars as well. There is 3 miles, I believe, of beach, and most of that is free parking spaces, but it has gotten a lot tighter to the point that we no longer come down here anymore, and it's one of our favourites as well. So we're going to go to the next place now that is an iconic park up in the whole of the area that is the reason why all of these things have happened. Let's go.
So the winds are getting stronger for sure today, and our next stop, even on a regular day, is a very windy place to go. Okay, so we're on our way. The winds are really starting to pick up now, and where we're going is probably one of the worst places you can go in high winds. So we're going to go anyway because it's really important to show you this place, but fingers crossed we can film. So we have just got this. It's the brand new Jackery Explorer 500, and just look how cute it is. It's absolutely adorable. I love it.
Enough of the cute stuff. This is the lightest and most compact 512 watt-hour power station of its kind. It's 27% smaller than the industry standard, and I am massively impressed by it. This is a sort of power station that we will just have out all the time during winter. You can obviously charge it via solar and the cigarette lighter, but if you were to plug this into the wall via AC, then you'll get a 0 to 80% charge in an hour, or a full charge in 80 minutes. So yeah, it's got 512 watt capacity, 500 watt output, 1000 watt peak output, and it's got all of the ports that you will see on any other power station. USB-C, USB-A, and the AC 3-pin ports as well. It's amazing. So obviously we're going to be charging our phones and our laptops from this, because why not? It takes some of the pressure off the solar and the leisure batteries that we've got in the camper van. But I mean, this is just fantastic for camping, and I'm about to give it a go for a new kitchen appliance that we've got for doing soups this winter. So yeah, this is awesome. Please go check it out for yourself. I'll leave a link to it in the description of this video and the pinned comment, and there might be a discount there for you as well. And thank you to Jackery for sponsoring this video. So this is the big steep climb up to the park up on top of a hill. It's a very, very famous park up. It's one of our favourite park ups ever, but all has changed, and I'm about to show you. I'll show you why when we get up there. Hopefully the winds aren't too strong. Okay, so this is the famous Firle beacon, and this, believe it or not, apart from there's a horse box here, but there are no camper vans up here anymore. This used to be chocker full of camper vans and motorhomes. We have been up here so much. In fact, this was the very, very first spot that we have ever wild camped on. So it means a lot to us as well, and it was such a good place to come to for the first year of us doing 2 years of us doing van life on and off. But now, unfortunately, this happened, a massive shock to all of the van lifers in the area, because it now costs £25 to park up here overnight. And of course, that's meant that it's just ruled out pretty much everybody doing it. So that's why there are literally no camper vans up here whatsoever, because, you know, who would pay that £25 for no facilities or anything like that? And also they're really hot on it. It's ANPR, because then you can see the camera up here. It's ANPR. Our friends Ken and Carol from the channel Life is Too Short got stung with that recently. They paid the £25, or they paid the fee, but they stayed over by a short amount of time, and the ANPR picked up on that and they got fined. The result: this happens, unfortunately, and this is happening. This is a beauty spot as well, we believe. We count this as a beauty spot, one of the best. And you've got panoramic views of the whole of Sussex around here. But what happened because of this, because there were so many vans up here, and van lifers aren't just doing van life because it's for the love of it. Some people are doing it because they have to, because they don't have, they've got low incomes, or they're not in a financial position to have a house or a flat. A lot of people that accounts for. So when they shut this down, the trickle effect that happened from this overspilt and went to meant that people were going elsewhere, including Seaford. So we noticed once this was shut down last year that everyone started piling on Seaford Beach last summer, and probably this summer as well, hence why they've got more restrictions there now. And it won't be long before Seaford's probably shut down for good, completely banning overnight parking probably. And it has that knock-on effect to everywhere else, and that's going to happen at pretty much all beauty spots across the UK, we think. It's inevitable for many, many different reasons. Obviously, the council, the complaints that they get, council shutting it down. We think there's pros and cons to having vans in areas. We think the pros are, you know, we've mentioned them in previous videos, that it's good for small businesses, it's good for the local economy. The cons are, it's a bit unsightly, the residents complain, all that sort of stuff. We've been through all of that stuff before. This is one aspect of how it starts at the top, and then consequently all of the park-ups get shut down after it. And this knock-on effect is happening across the board.
We got in the van and headed down the hill, not paying the £25 to stay overnight, and especially with the 65 mph winds that are coming, which up here would feel like something much fiercer. We headed off to look for shelter, popping into another van life park up worth mentioning.
So this is another park up. This is where we see the future of van life going. This is another supermarket car park, but unlike the one that we park at overnight in the centre of Brighton, and we want to be in the centre of Brighton, that's why we're paying £12. This only costs £2.50 for 24 hours. So this is very, very affordable. It's a small fee. Making use of supermarket car parks when there's no one else in them overnight. And this is what we see a lot. Maybe the future is. It ain't glamorous. It isn't a beauty spot, but for people who are doing van life for affordability purposes and low income and all that sort of thing, we see this is a really viable option. So it's on the Your Parking app for £2.50, Sainsbury's car park, and this is actually in Newhaven, not too far from Brighton.
I actually really love supermarket car park to stay overnight. It doesn't bother me actually that I am in a supermarket car park. I find it quite calm and peaceful. It's safe. I always feel safe here. It's close to the toilets and easy accessibility to go and get whatever you want from the supermarket. So for those 4 reasons, I think it's great. If you're not in a beauty spot anyway, you tend to do your blinds up, or we do anyway, and you could be anywhere. When you do that, you could actually be anywhere. So if we're spending the evening with the van and the blinds are up and we're just chilling out, then it's nice to have the accessibility to all that stuff. So I actually don't mind them. As we drove to find some shelter away from the storm, we went past one of Brighton's last remaining free camping spots for vans.
Just heading back to Asda now to get shelter from this storm, but that is a classic example that we just drove past of the surviving van lifers that we believe that that's what it's going to become. So what I mean is, when all the beauty spots have gone, van life will become those spots. And it's like not ideal spots, not centrally located, a bit out there, a bit crammed, full of long-term van lifers, and they will probably stay okay. The local governments will leave them alone and not put restrictions on them, so long as that everybody leaves it in a good condition. You know, toilets aren't emptied, litter isn't cast everywhere, vans aren't left and wrecked there, and what have you. We really, really hope that those spots stay available for everybody, but it is reliant on everybody involved in them who stay at them to look after them, and that is what we think the van life is probably going to become. And we're back at Asda car park in Brighton Marina that costs £12 for 24 hours. We actually prepay the 24 hours, so we might as well use it. Also, it's a really good spot to be when there's a storm passing over, because we're like 100% sheltered here. Well, sort of. You can hear it in the background. The winds are going to get stronger and stronger from now on. That's an example of the park-ups in the local area and how they affect other park-ups. But it's not just here. It's happening all over the country. It's happened from pretty much the second year we did van life. The first year was plain sailing. I remember one park-up in particular that gave us so much sort of joy and hope for the future of van life, and that was Woolacombe and North Devon. North Devon and Cornwall are just like off limits now pretty much for van life, unless you want to stay at a campsite, which is okay. But I remember we was on one park-up called the Esplanade in Woolacombe, one of the best surfing beaches, and we parked there for ages with loads of other people, loads of other surfers and stuff, and it felt like just like heaven on earth in our first sort of few months of doing van life. That park up that we spent that summer on, and we met so many wonderful people, is shut down the next year after that, and then it was a knock-on effect with all the other park ups that were left and remaining in Cornwall and Devon to park up for free. There are some left still, but they're few and far between. And then, of course, we've spoken about the NC500. Scarborough has now had their huge park-up shut down, similar to the one in Woolacombe, just a long stretch of parking that you no longer can park at. It's a trial, but I assume they're going to continue doing that. And, we all know what's going on in Bristol as well, and the Drove, the restrictions are coming in. Anyway, talking about restrictions, every time that we put a video out on this channel that shows a park-up being shut down, and unfortunately we've had a few of those, people almost always comment, and in the comment section, about the climate agenda that's happening. So whilst there's a lot of unknowns going on, and I'm actually going to tell you our thoughts about the future in a minute, this is what we do know about the current state of affairs in the UK at the moment with regards to van life and vehicles.
In the UK, there's still no national law banning sleeping in your van overnight. It just depends on whether the spot is legal and whether local rules or signs prohibit overnight parking. For example, Cornwall Council bans overnight sleeping in all all of its car parks, except one in Bude. And Highland Council has been moving towards banning overnight van stays in some NC500 car parks. Another big discussion point is the UK's climate and transport policy. Back in 2020, the government set a target to end sales of new petrol and diesel cars and vans by 2030, with hybrids allowed until 2035 and only zero-emission vehicles from then on. In 2023, the Conservatives delayed the 2030 ban to 2035, but the Labour government has since said it will bring the 2030 deadline back. Importantly, this ban only applies to new vehicles. There are currently no laws or proposals to ban using or buying second-hand petrol or diesel vehicles. And when it comes to the World Economic Forum, ChatGPT tells us that a lot of controversy comes from misinterpreted thought pieces. For example, the phrase, "you'll own nothing and be happy," came from a 2016 opinion essay published on the WEF site, not from any official policy. Similarly, WEF has shared articles about urban planning ideas like 15-minute cities, but these are discussion pieces, not binding proposals.
So whether you believe the World Economic Forum and governments or not, we don't. We don't trust them anyway. Then the future is sort of unknown. There is no infrastructure in place for electric vehicles and what have you, or not enough. So God knows what they think there's going to happen in the next few years. But either way, our thoughts about the future of van life in the UK are pretty much exactly what we've shown you in this video. Firle Beacon park up being closed or made expensive to everybody at £25 a night meant that all the van lifers, the knock-on effect went to another park up, another beauty spot. That beauty spot, Seaford Beach for instance, is going to be shut down probably eventually, and then they go elsewhere to another spot. And then so what happens is the beauty spot gets shut down and then other spots get shut down because of the sheer influx of van lifers that go there. Then what's left are lay-bys, industrial estates and supermarket car parks. This one costs £12 for 24 hours. We're only here because we've joined a gym nearby, and tomorrow's our last day that we're going to go to, and then we're out of here. And it's also really sheltered from this storm right now, which we're very grateful for. But usually we stayed in supermarket car parks a lot, and it's for free. And hopefully so long that may that continue. We don't mind doing supermarket car parks. We don't mind doing lay-bys or in industrial estates. Needs must. So we think that van life will actually continue for anybody who wants to live in a van. It just might not be as glamorous, and the beauty spots we think will go across the board as they already have been, with a few left remaining that fly under the radar, but a lot of them will go probably. We're not naive in thinking that this is going to last forever. And then people will go to lay-bys and other places that fly under the radar that aren't affected for sort of like the general public and residents and dog walkers and all that. So things will continue, but restrictions will come. And we know they will. Also, we're finding insurance to become more difficult and a little bit trickier, so hopefully that won't tighten up either. But so long as that will carry, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people living in vans because they have to, and local councils can have problems with them, but unless they provide housing, it's not going to solve the problem. So I do think that van life will continue, and so does Janine as well, and we're very, very happy about that. We wanted to share this information with you because we get asked it a lot, we get it in comments a lot. We're now going to reference this video for anyone who asks about it. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. There is also something called the hype button below, which is near the like button, the thumbs up button. Give that a click if you found this video interesting, and you think that other people will appreciate the information that we've given on here. And we'll subscribe, obviously, and we'll see you next time, because we are hitting the road, we're leaving Brighton, and we are going to the north of England, believe it or not.
Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon, side by side and through and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.